If you want to look at the graph, that's probably where we should start, because it all comes back to that.
So, did you want me to give a quick history of that patient? And then
no, how about we go into that after we've looked at the graph, because I'll get you to answer the questions after you looked at it. So, if I show you the graph, you'll be able to tell me.
Have you asked the question yet? Have we got the question on video? What we're actually looking at?
What he wants to look at is forefoot varus, but one of the other questions was also how to interpret the graphs. Okay, so. Alright, now the first thing is that I'm getting feedback that you're scanning lots of people, which is good. Okay, so if you're scanning your patient, alright, and you're scanning them lots of times, therefore you're doing it as part of an integrated process where you're probably screening people. Okay, rather than going, oh, I think I should look at the foot, you're saying the only way to tell if the foot's involved is to scan it, which is the correct logic. Okay, it's the wrong logic to say, I'll look at it if I think it's a problem. How do you know it's a problem? Only if you scan it. Which came first, the chicken or the egg? Well, in this case, the scan comes first.
So who should we scan? While we're doing that, who should we scan?
Anybody that's got an integrated model, so basically anybody from the lumbar spine down. Okay, the evidence indicates that the foot biomechanics has an effect that far up the kinetic chain.
Thoracic spine?
No evidence. Okay, you're looking at low evidence. 0.01% for headaches maybe. So in other words, you might integrate that in somebody that has failed everything else and you're at a wit's end of what to do. Okay, alright. So where you're going to be scanning is to look at what's happening from the hips and pelvis down in terms of their gait cycle, their centre of mass, their balance, their neuromotor control.
When you said it's also a screening tool, would you then therefore say, even if they're not having lower limb issues, if they're, for example, we get a lot of runners and that in here, it'd still be a useful screening tool to use on them even if they're not having issues?
That's the way I would tend to use it for a lot of people. Okay. I'd integrate it. Do not say, I want to look at your feet and want to see if your needle floats.
Yeah.
Okay, Gaitscan is a diagnostic tool. It's a tool that indicates a number of things about the lower kinetic chain. It tells you primarily about foot pressure and the timing, sequencing and cycle of that. Okay, that's obviously related then to foot pathology or pronation, but it also gives you clues about the kinetic chain via the centre of mass, okay, or the gait line. So what Gaitscan calls the gait line. All right, and the gait line is your little clues as to where you might be wanting to head within management. But what you get if you scan them is you get 2 for 1. You're a physio that can analyse their biomechanical chain as well. You've got to look in knees and hips and pelvis and lumbar spine, correct?
Yep.
Okay, hope so. Yeah. All right, and that's certainly where your clinical reasoning is going to become very much the fore, which is probably not that strong in feet, correct?
We do a little bit of feet, but probably not as much.
But you're not as strong as with the lumbar spine. Okay, so you get 2 for 1. You get a diagnostician that's really good at feet, and this gives you a bit of indicator about the kinetic chain, and you're really good at the kinetic chain, and you're wondering whether the foot's a problem. So you get 2 practitioners assessing. Okay, now. I've cut you off there. You are good at feet, but it's going to take you half an hour to assess the foot. You don't want to do that, do you? Okay, so you want to get as much information as you can that's quantifiable and objective in the minimum amount of time that's going to lead you down the appropriate path. Okay.